I mean, can we have asked for a better card than we just saw? I mean, I don't even know how I'm going to go through this entire thing without cursing. I just got off the phone with my best friend and my business partner, and I was like, I don't even know how I'm going to go to sleep tonight. Like, I feel like I got to move furniture. What a card. I mean, you know what the crazy thing about this is usually on these cards, right, when you get these big cards, you tend to say to yourself, well, it really looks good on paper, you know, it looks fantastic on paper, but then it doesn't really live up to what it is. This card lived up to the hype and 10 times more. I mean, you literally couldn't ask for a better card. I mean, after the Pantoja and Moreno fight, you're almost like it's over. Like, that was the main event, it's over. Then you realize yourself, you're like, wait a minute, we got one more fight left. We still got Volkanovski and Yair to go. I mean, what a card from top to bottom, literally from top to bottom. We had an amazing night over at the MadLab MMA. I mean, we absolutely crushed, and you love to see that on a big stage like this when a lot more people are watching and a lot of people are really invested in it, and the content is a lot more juicier because we want to actually have more action on everything because it's a huge card. I mean, we couldn't ask for a better night. We could not have asked for a better night. I mean, we were on Dan Hooker. We hit him. We hit Robbie Lawler. I mean, how about Robbie Lawler? How about that retirement? I mean, you know, was that insane or what? To have a walk-off KO like that for your retirement fight? And mind you, if you guys are on Twitter and stuff and you see these conspiracy theories and how it was a fixed fight, please don't listen to that crap. Just please, it's almost disrespectful to Robbie Lawler, a guy who's been in the UFC pretty much since he was a teenager, and then you're going to say that his final retirement fight in the UFC was fixed. Don't do it. Like, literally don't do that, because it's so highly insulting to him and what he's put his body through and has put his career through, to say that he ended on that note. That's like a real low jab, low blow thing to do to somebody like him. That fight was not fixed. But amazing. I mean, what an amazing career he had. What an amazing way to walk off. I mean, that alone, the money was worth it. Even though that was free, that was on the free card, but that alone, if it was on the pay-per-view, that was worth its weight in gold to see him walk off like that. So we had Robbie Lawler, we had Dan Hooker. How about that fight? That fight was amazing. I mean, at one point in time, at the end of the first round, I was telling my subscribers, I'm not sure this is going to work out for us right now, because he just couldn't get the range down. He looked like he was a little off. He was getting to the spots late. Jalen Turner was getting a little sharp. And, he was really laying a bead on Hooker. And the one thing I did say about that fight is if Hooker did want to win this fight, he was going to have to kind of crash that pocket. He was going to have to make it dirty, and he was going to have to take the range from Jalen Turner. He did not do that in the first round. However, in the second round, he did do that. And then when he ended up getting the confidence after he saw that, look, I rocked this guy and almost finished him, that's when he said, look, I tasted his power. Now I'm going to crash the pocket. He ends up crashing the pocket and winning. So we hit that. That was a big win. We hit Alexander Pantoja. I mean, you cannot ask for a better fight than that. The thing that pissed me off about that fight was the crowd. This is what I mean about, like, the suits and the corporate people that get some of these tickets. Like, how do you boo these guys? Like, I was aggravated in 3 spots on that fight. And it's a shame, because it was such an amazing fight that I had to be aggravated by it. I got aggravated by the crowd that when they were actually booing them they thought they were stalling, or, when he had his back, he's just sitting there. No, he wasn't just sitting there. He had a body triangle on him. He had his back, and he was, and that's what Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is. It's called a back take. Like, he wasn't just sitting there. These guys literally left their entire souls in the cage, and these suits wearing khakis and Dockers are booing him. That aggravated me. Another thing that aggravated me, how did the crowd boo Pantoja after he won the fight? I understand it was a pro-Moreno crowd, but you don't boo that guy. Like, that was an amazing fight. You give that guy his credit. You don't have to say anything, but don't boo him. And then, obviously, the other thing that aggravated me that we can't avoid on Twitter are the people that said that he didn't do anything, he didn't win the fight. I mean, you literally can't win. I had the fight scored 4-1 Pantoja. That's what I had. I had the rounds very close, but at the end of the day, you got to score the rounds. Like, at the end of the round, you got to score the round. So I had a 4-1 Pantoja. I don't know how that one judge had the fight to Moreno. Like, that was honestly diabolical that he gave those rounds to Moreno. I mean, they were close rounds, but I couldn't have made an argument for Moreno winning that fight. I really couldn't have. It was a close fight, but still, at the end of every round, there was much more of an argument to give the edge to Pantoja than there was Moreno. So I was a little surprised that it was a split decision. But what saved him in that fight was the grappling, was the takedowns, because Moreno was much sharper on the feet. And I discussed this, in previous past about Moreno, that in 2016 and 2018, when he lost to Pantoja, he was very neophyte on his feet. He was very sloppy. He loaded up. He didn't have the good. He was so much more sharper. You could see, even his grappling, he was able to make some nice transitions and escape. He looked really, really good. So, kudos to both of those guys. What a war, what a treat they gave us. But we cashed a plus 165 with Pantoja. We hit a couple really nice parlays. We have some guys that are coming up that we get really excited about, like this kid Saman. What a great little fighter he is. 22 years old, very new, still a little raw, good power, very confident, fun fight. Bo Nickel, another guy. A lot of us expected him to get a submission. He ends up knocking the kid out, even though either which way but loose, he's the biggest favorite in UFC history. Still, he kind of left his comfort zone and ended up getting a knockout in that fight. And I believe it was like plus 850 for a knockout. So, we had so many surprises, so many twists and turns. The one fight that did disappoint me a little bit, the only fight in the card, was Whitaker. And I said the way that he loses this fight, if he loses this fight, and I did pick Whitaker on the fight, was if he got old overnight, he gets caught, or he comes in with a riddling injury, or he's sick, because he's tend to do that in the past. He got caught. He ended up getting caught. I honestly didn't even see initially what the hell he got caught with. I just seen him drop. And Duplessis didn't see it either, because in the thing, he said, I just turned around, I saw his hand on the ground, and I charged him. So I don't even think he realized what he caught him with. But he ended up catching him with a ghost counter. It was just a counter that he ended up throwing. He threw it out there, right time, right spot, and it ended up catching Whitaker. Whitaker usually doesn't go down from shots like that. So now you got to keep your eye on that going forward. Like, where does he go from here now? We obviously know where Duplessis goes. He's going to get a crack at Izzy. I didn't like what Izzy did in the interview. I don't see a need to bring the fighter in the cage. I mean, the guy just won a very big fight, biggest step up in competitions he's ever fought. He fought a ranked guy in Robert Whitaker, who's an absolute savage. He was up against it. Let the guy have his moment. There's no reason to bring him into the cage. Zero. There was literally no reason to bring him into the cage. And I didn't like what he did when he was in the cage. I just didn't. I didn't get anything. And like I said, I'm an Izzy fan. But what an amazing card overall. If you guys didn't watch the show, I hope you watched the show. The previous show that me and my business partner Bush did, me and Christine Showdown did. Her dog pick of the week also was Pantoja. Just an amazing fight. And for those of you that are new to the sport, and I'm just jumping in, watching it right now, this is what we fell in love with, man. This is what I fell in love with fucking 20-something years ago. It becomes addicting. It's just such a pure form of fighting. Boxing, my three favorite sports: boxing, MMA, football. Three favorite sports. Not even close. Not even close. I started with boxing. That's where my heart lies. I transitioned to MMA. And then football was always, in my wheelhouse. And I love basketball too. But there's nothing like human combat. You have nobody to blame if you lose. You don't have no quarterback to blame. You don't have a center to blame. You don't have a running back to blame. You have yourself to blame if you lose. It's one-on-one. There's no one else in there with you. You control your own destiny. That's what makes it the most beautifully violent, savage sport there is, boxing and mixed martial arts. So I hope you guys enjoyed the card as much as I did. I hope you guys can actually get some sleep tonight after that, because my adrenaline's going. It's almost like I feel like I can move my furniture all around this house. But if you guys haven't checked us out yet, please, you guys missed out on a really good night. The MadLabMMA.com, come check us out. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like, comment below. What did you think of the card? What were some of your reads? Were you right? Were you wrong? Were you surprised on certain things? Did you think a judge got a decision wrong? I want to hear what you guys to say. Did you like the commentating tonight? Some of the commentating to me seemed a little bit biased. Just what did you think? I want to hear from you guys. I try to answer everything, and I will. But most importantly, guys, we work hard on the channel. Please like, subscribe, and comment below. And I will see you on the next video.